I'm pretty sure you heard of the phrase, it takes a village to raise a child. When think about it in the past, I'm like, what sort of nonsense are you talking about? We live in a world where, you know, a nuclear family can look after a child, a baby to a man, or a baby to adulthood. Let's just put it that way, right? And, you know, for me to say that, it's really, really is asking for a parenthood, to suffer. They have to, sacrifice for being, work around to be the breadwinner in certain time or hour, just to look after the child, and you put a huge strain for the family as well. It takes a lot of time and effort, investment on a child. Let's just put it that way. And I spoke to my older peers who already has children. All right, probably their kids are probably like 10 years old, or 5 or 6. And when I look at it, I'm like, man, it really does take a village to raise a child. Sometimes you can't always rely on childcare. I guess this whole pandemic is giving you a slight taste for family. How hard it is to do homeschooling, all right, during this pandemic. But at the same time, in life, anything could happen. You can get sick, or anything could happen, or you may go to hospital or things like that. You really need to have your extended family to come and have take, if they're willing to. I'm not saying it's good or bad, but your seniors, family members, or those who has kids, it will be perfect for them to look after the kids, right? It takes lots of time and pressure, for a family nowadays to look after a child. It is no way whatsoever, um, you know, um, as a nuclear family, it's a very vulnerable position. It can take the breadwinner to get sick or go to hospital. That's it. That's finished. And not having two of them. And especially with this pandemic, people start to realize, why do we really need extended family live nearby? This pandemic is either 5 kilometers radius or 25-kilometer radius. We are drifting away from our extended family, further and further away. We has distanced our communication, or close to nothing nowadays. And boy, I get to see kids and families who raise their child to adulthood, and when they get married or when they have their work, their communication has disconnected. And this is why I said it takes a herd village to prepared and behind, to be a backup, and to guide them to be there, instead of being a selfish thinker and do certain things just to run their own world. And it is tough, man. I'm letting you guys know it is tough. Even though I don't have kids, but kids will be the hardest thing in the world. You sacrifice every single thing that you and your girlfriend or missus, a life that you guys have once before. You sacrifice down to a point that you can't do anything. No spare time. The only spare time, going to the restaurants, making too much fuss, too much noise. The kid, it's easy to take out, or Uber Eats, or perhaps just eat at home all the time. Luxurious. Reward yourself is harder than ever than before. Take him to the holiday trip. The kids is crying in the car. And it's just too much. When you have extended family or a village, or you go to a big family function, it's a lot easier. People look after, the young ones, and iron-minded. Just take the pressure away. But that's the video I'm about to say.